Auschwitz exhibit. It was very sombering, very difficult to explain the feelings that come from it. Pictures don't do it justice. You can't put the stories and the heartbreak and the gravity to something so devastating as the Holocaust. She said it made her heart hurt, and I explained to her that that's what it should do. You shouldn't be happy something like that happened. My husband, it was very difficult for him in the fact that his family is from one of the Polish towns that lost a lot of its population to being sent to the concentration camps. One of the main ones they were sent to was Auschwitz. My oldest son explained that the hardest part for him, and he retold it on video, but when we left, the hardest part for him was they had a shoe, a toddler shoe. And he was carrying around his baby sister, not baby, but carrying around his little sister, my youngest daughter, who's 5 now. And as soon as they came up to the exhibit of the child's shoe, her shoe fell off, and he realized that the shoe is the same size as his little sister's. He came over in 1919, his grandparents did, and so for him, he knew a little bit more, and he sometimes tells the stories about never hearing them speak English. But be aware, if you have connections, if you have family, or your family has ever been affected with the devastation of something such as genocide and the total weight of it. This is difficult. It is not a easy thing to view. You should be prepared if you are going to go to this exhibit. I believe it's in Kansas City and pretty much sold out till October. And I don't know how much longer it's there. I think it's already been to New York, which are the only 2 U.S. states it's going to hit, or anyone going to it. Your children, like I said, my 2 youngest really didn't grasp it. They understood the reason to be solemn. My children did not play. They did not act up. They walked with us and listened to the stories, including my 3-year-old. He didn't yell and scream and try to run through. So there is definitely a sense in the air of understanding that this is not something to mess around with or play at. And we did explain to our children that this was not an event or a game, that this is a learning experience. We don't want there to ever be a question. This thing did happen. There are people this evil. You can't ignore that. You can't hide that. You can't remove it from the history books. Knowing the past and the things that have happened to people, and the audacity that others have to think that erasing it makes it that it didn't happen. It did happen. Millions of people were affected by this. 90% of the children that were sent to concentration camps died. And when my daughter asked me how many that was, my example to her was, if you have 10 fingers and lose all but one, that's how many that is. If you have 10 children, only one would live. Like I said, I was very proud of all of my children for how they handled themselves, for their understanding, and for the fact that they did not, honestly, for the fact that they wanted to cry, because everyone should. That level of loss, that level of pain that was caused should never have happened and should never happen again.